Okay, so this is just the PowerPoint presentation from Situational Leadership 2. I've imported it into Inspire to show a few examples of how we could make some of these slides a little more interactive, collaborative, and engaging. So I'm just going to go into this first one, and as you can see, there's 3 bullets, you know, here, here, and here. And not only can I annotate, but I can use my finger. So in this case, I'm just going to touch on the bullets, and as I touch, it uses the layering feature of Inspire to reveal what the text is beneath that layer. So I can bring up all those, make it a little more engaging, and speak to them, one at a time. As I go to the next one, you can see on this one, I've kind of left a blank there relative to this statement, and I've got a question built in. You see the little question mark over here. So I can speak to, leadership is an blank process, and when I hit the question, it brings up my little bitty icon for polling, and I'm just going to ask a free text question. So I've done that, and now I'm going to use the devices to answer. So let me do this first one. And you can see that one person's responded. Let me do one more. And one other person has responded. And now everyone's responded. So you can see I've got the answers here as I move them around, or I can just export those by touching on that to the screen. I can now minimize it, move it over to the side. So I've gotten feedback from people. And then as I touch up here where the blank is with my hand, I'm just going to drag that down and reveal what the correct answer is. So you can see that the person that said influence got the answer correct. So we'll close this out, move on to the next slide. In this case, we're talking about leadership style, which is pattern of behaviors that you use with others over time as perceived by them. And I'm just going to touch on the arrow and pull out this statement because I thought this was something that was, really the striking point of what anyone will want to remember from situational leadership 2 is that there is no best leadership style. It's obviously situational. And then this was another one that I thought would be interesting. In PowerPoint, it was set up like this, but in Inspire, you might just take those two and move them around, and then you could do a little, brainstorming exercise and just ask people for examples of, what represents and what is confidence to you, what is commitment to you. And then moving along these last two, you can see as I hover over these words at the top, you see that little icon that points up. That means I'm using a feature in Inspire called drag and copy. So based on that, I can touch any of those letters or words in blue and then drag them down. So when we talk about the D1 level, what type of competence is that? If I touch low, I can just drag it over there, and then I can touch high and drag it there. So I think it's low competence and high commitment. Again, this could be a very good team exercise, and I'll just fill these in real quickly as I touch some of these others, and then bring that down. I'll do moderate here, and I don't know if I'm getting these answers correct or not, but just to give you an idea, this would be a great team exercise to do that. And then as I touch each one of these letters of the different development styles, as I touch D1 with my hand, you can see the correct answer pops up over there on the right. So I can just reveal those in whatever order I want, to see how they did in terms of placing those. And then this is something similar as well. In this case, we've got the 4 different situational levels, and I've got my text answers over here, and the same thing. I can drag those to where I think they belong relative to each one. And then as I touch the squares, they pop out and reveal what it should be, low directive and low supportive. So we got that one right. Low directive, high supportive. Touch on each of those, and again, it reveals the right answer. So just another neat tool that's available. And then on this last one, it's somewhat similar. I'm using drag and drop as well. So I can pull these over, same thing, set them there to where I think they belong. And in this case, I'm just going to touch down here in the bottom, and that reveals what was already in the slide, but I had put that in a separate layer. So you can now see how the development levels match the situational levels. So that's just a few examples that, again, I thought made this part of the presentation a little more engaging.